and welcome to our session for today, the anatomy of a viral ad, or the How to Outshine Don Draper Creative Workshop. I am Maria Dima. I am the content strategist for Sweatcoin. I've been working in advertising since the past 300 years. I love reading, writing, and resting, with an emphasis on the last one.
And I am Bogdana Orzu. I have been a performance marketing lead for Sweatcoin for a couple of years. I like coffee, the great outdoors, bold ideas, and I like learning from the best. Luckily with Sweatcoin, we have a great product, an amazing team, the best users, and also fantastic partners. So we're very happy to always learn from them and from the whole app growth community. Outside of professional sources, as a mother of two teenage daughters, I must say some of those best include Taylor Swift.
Yeah, together today we are going to share you some of the creative learnings that have worked for us. But before we get into it, if you've never heard about Sweatcoin, we are a free health and fitness app that tracks your steps and converts them into a digital currency named Sweatcoin. The more you walk, the more you earn, and the more you earn, the more you walk. It has some rhythm to it and some truth, because studies have shown that Sweatcoin users do become 20% more active, and that's something we're super proud about. Speaking about users, they get to spend their Sweatcoin in our app, in our marketplace, buying cool offers or even donating to charity. Sweatcoin was ranked the #1 health and fitness app in the world back in 2020 by monthly active users, according to the site with all the data, Data AI. And now I'm going to let Bogdana tell you a little bit more about how we achieved that growth.
So for Sweatcoin, our path to viral ads started from a viral growth model. Our user acquisition is fueled by referral, influencers, social media, and organic traffic. This means that there is always a high baseline of daily registrations and a really large and growing brand footprint. So any day, probably, we can spend all our ad budget bidding on branded search, for example. But the question we are asking is it the best use of our investment? Will it help fuel our growth engine? We did some intense experimentation, and based on that, we decided to concentrate our paid ad strategy on discovery in video feed, and more specifically on user-generated content. We call this approach to paid ads a creative-first approach to ads. UGC-style video is in the center of it, and it's a valuable way to meet users because they are exactly ready to discover, to take action, and to engage. We have the opportunity of a really immediate, very easy to measure conversion action, which is pre-install. And because of the sheer scale of the channel, there is a huge opportunity to test at speed. Because the formats are aligned with our natural growth channels, there is a lot of synergy in how they run. And we are using a language that people understand and they relate to. So this makes the whole mechanics highly scalable and extremely effective. We can contrast this creative-first approach to a traditional media buying view of paid performance. In the traditional view, you start from channels, from budgets, and you think about creatives after that. When you look at measuring your success, you are looking mostly at dollar metrics, like CPI, SPC, etc. There is a conventional A/B testing process and a long and costly learning phase. In a creative-first approach, we are starting from the creatives. The channels are secondary and, to some extent, interchangeable. We look first at the video metrics, not the media metrics, And we test much, 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 much faster. So let's imagine what success looks like when you make an ad viral. Have you been there already? So this could be your Monday morning when you just look at the campaign performance and you just can't believe the reach that you had yesterday. And you actually need to maybe get in touch with your CFO before coffee to make sure you have the budget to continue to fuel it. It's possible. We've made this a habit at Sweatcoin, and we want to just do it again and again. LATAM is a good example of a market where we've repeatedly had viral ads, and I define this by reach, reaching like around 20 million people with one video ad. And I will propose to watch one. I hope your Spanish is up to date.
Perdona, chico. Hey, ¿te puedo preguntar dónde vas con tanta prisa?
Voy al gimnasio.
Ah, ok, vale. Perdona, ¿te puedo preguntar dónde vas con tanta prisa?
A ver a mis amigos.
Vale, gracias. Perdona, ¿me puedes contar dónde vas con tanta prisa?
Es que me acabo de descargar una aplicación y me pagan por andar.
¿Cómo es eso que te pagan por andar?
Por andar. He descargado Sweatcoin y por cada paso que doy pues me recompensan.
O sea, te dan dinero por andar.
Eso es. O
Y
sea,
luego...
me dan unas monedas que se llaman como la aplicación, Sweatcoin, y luego pues yo las puedo canjear por premios, o puedo donar a la caridad, o comprarme cositas. Y me estás
¿En serio?
fastidiando el plan. Así que ya sabéis, caminar rentable y yo sigo con mis pasos. ¡Chao!
So I hope you filled in some of the blanks. It is an ad for Sweatcoin that was incredibly successful. For myself, I'm watching it probably the 100th time, and I'm still smiling and could do it absolutely again. So as marketers, the next question is, can we engineer viral ads? First, let's look under the hood of what these viral ads do best. And the keyframe analysis is the one tool that really offers a perfect insight into the combination of attention and engagement that these ads are putting together so well. So in this keyframe analysis, we are looking at the retain rate, the turquoise line. So it's how many people keep watching the ad after the first few seconds. So with the best ads, you will see a very gentle slope. You can be a ski beginner and still make it. And this is always the first element of a viral ad. It will keep people watching. In the same keyframe analysis, we can look at the engagement curve. It's the blue line. And we've marked here like the peak engagement moments when we say it's free to download and link in bio. So those are the moments where people are more likely to click and engage. We've also marked some values, where it depends. It can be some unneeded fluff, where you might make a shorter and more effective video by cutting it out. But in our case, it's actually just a time span where people continue to watch, and it's an integral part of the story. So it always needs to be taken in context. So we know what we want to do, what we want to achieve. I will let Maria tell you more about how we may do it.
Yes, thank you. So last year alone, we dissected over 500 creatives, and now we're sharing the main highlights. Have you ever wondered how some ads make burgers look like they were handcrafted by Michelangelo himself? And then when you finally order one, you get that one that looks like it's been sat on by a sumo wrestler? Yeah, today we're going to talk about how not to get a disappointing ad. So like everything else in life, it all starts with an intention. For us, that is going for the UGC gold. That means setting a high standard for your creatives. And I mean so high that you get to annoy the heck out of your teams and the people you are working with. So the first question you should ask before doing anything else is, what are my go-to resources for creativity today? Think of creativity like a resource. You know, it's like a currency. It can open up new geos. It can bridge the gap between your audience and your product. It can unlock scale. So if you're looking yourself in the mirror, staring at your own reflection, thinking, it's me, I'm the only resource, that's okay. You can absolutely start there, because creativity is a do-it-yourself kind of thing, and most often than not, it's a thing about just starting, just doing it. So if you are just starting and you're working with agencies or with influencers, or you're doing it yourself, you'll have to start from a brief. And you should never, ever underestimate the power of a good brief. The brief is that one tool that can have a direct impact on the quality of the creatives that you're going to get. And you should use it for one purpose only, and that is to squeeze out as much creativity as possible from the people you are working with. So when you're starting to design the brief, you must be thinking about designing the right environment so that the creator actually can bring the value. In order to do that, you have to be specific, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. But right now, you probably are wondering about the Complete the Dinosaur assignment we have over here. Let me provide some context. This is an actual kindergarten assignment. This is for kids, and it only has one explanation. Complete the dinosaur. So that's it. That's the brief. As you can imagine, kids did what kids do, so we have a Dino Barbie, a Superman Dino, and a Dino Girly. And they're awesome, right? They're so cool. But what if you were expecting a terrifying dinosaur, the one that does not wear sandals when it's hunting? So the question is, what makes a good brief? And I'm sure everybody here at some point in their life went through a creative brief and just thought, like, who wrote this? Shakespeare? And it's going to be simpler, I promise, once you have these three elements that we're about to share. So the first one, examples. You have to provide powerful references of the type of content that you want to get. Done by you or somebody else, it doesn't matter. So it's one thing for me to say, I want a surprising Sweatcoin video. That's not my voice, that's my brief voice. Anyway, but it's a different story when I actually provide a video in which you have an influencer walking 10K steps with slime in his shoes. So what we're trying to say is, don't treat your intelligence, your brand's creative capital as confidential information, as classified information. You have to show and not just tell. So rather than me saying, I want something edgy but not too edgy, something fun but not too fun, it would be a better idea for me to share in the brief the exact do's and don'ts of my brand. And if I want something, if I want a human, if I want a trending sound, if I want a dialogue, I should better put it in the brief. Secondly, you have to have a clear, concise, and simple, powerful value proposition. For Sweatcoin, that is, it pays to walk. That's it. But it unlocks a lot of meaning. So it can mean your steps have value, or you can get rewards for your steps, or join a step challenge. So there's more to it. And lastly, and I say this with love to all my fellow marketing control freaks, we have to empower the creators to do their thing, to go crazy, to grant them creative freedom. In order to do that, first, you do have to educate them, so they do have to be aware of your app, your brand, what it does, your key features, and how you're different from the competition. And always, always, always go for pure UGC, so the resulting video should not feel scripted, should not look like a branded ad. There you have it. These are the freaky elements that will make your life so much easier. And now the asterisks. Even if you have a solid brief, the results you get might still be surprising and radically different. And that is because execution matters. And we're going to exemplify it. So we have one example. I'm sure you all know it. It broke the internet, but it illustrates the point we're trying to make. So you have one brief, two very different executions. So let's play Mariah. You know it, right? So the second example is made out of two of our best performing videos at Sweatcoin. And they are creative winners because they do capture attention using unique styles, formats, and character, but they were based on the same general brief.
All these years I've been walking up and down, step up and down, up and down, up and down. I could have been getting rewarded for it. So I started using the Sweatcoin app. And let me tell you, it's been super easy.
Let me take it, Dad.
John, Sparky needs to be walked.
Let me take it, Mom.
What? She never takes Sparky for a walk.
Something is not right here.
Both creative winners, right? Why? Because they have such a wide appeal. So guess what? A health and fitness app is not just for gym rats. It could be for construction workers. And they both take the users for a ride in an intriguing narrative that you just want to watch until the end. So think about the movies, right? Think about the slow burn. Just want to see it and how it unfolds. Yeah. Okay. So after our creative audit last year, we learned a thing or two about what turns a good ad into a winning ad and what are the key elements of viral ads. When we say winning creatives, and we say that a lot, we mean the kind of video that can unlock scale in any country, in any language, the type of ad that you can watch 10 times again and still find entertaining. So best practices exist for a reason. They do work. Everybody knows them. But what we saw on most of the best performing Sweatcoin videos is that they kind of break the rules. We're going to take it one by one. So firstly, we have the rule about bringing the key message super early in the video, like 5 seconds in early. What we saw at most of our winning creatives is that Sweatcoin was introduced only after the first 12 seconds of the video. Why is this important? The users are already invested in that story. They want to stick around. Best practices in terms of video duration state that it has to be around 15 and 20-second max. However, we found out that longer videos, longer than 35 seconds, have a better chance of becoming viral. Of course, we already touched upon this. Yes, sorry.
Do you see like any variation in this depending on like placement? So, for example, like YouTube might have something different on like social media.
That's a very interesting question. What we saw testing ads is that a good ad is a good ad, and it will follow the same kind of pattern. So the same length goes to every platform and performs in the same range, because it's about the entire mix of elements, not just the duration. I hope that clears it up. Yeah. We're going to open the floor more after, but if you guys have something now, please. No, this is just for Sweatcoin. This is based on our learnings and our creative audits. Of course, we read a lot, just like you. I bet we even follow each other here in the room. We trust TikTok, we trust studies, we trust data AI. But also, we do trust what we see in our accounts and take the data and then come up with this kind of stuff and test it again. We're going to talk some more about that as well. So we were at Creative Freedom, right? I just want to kind of stress how important it is to empower creatives to come up with one strong personal hook, because that is the part that draws users in. And I'm sure you all heard it now. Everybody is on our case to niche down and narrow down and find just one profile of the ideal creator that can work for your brand. We kind of say the opposite. We say go crazy and expand and be open-minded and work with a more diverse range of creators. Of course, platform native shooting is key. However, we did see that certain video formats do perform better than others, and I mean street interviews, skits, something that's entertaining, that has dialogue, that kind of mix it up a bit.
Do you want to watch it or?
Yeah. Do you want to guys watch a video? Good one.
This is slime, and I wanted to walk 10,000 steps in it to see if it was comfier than a normal shoe. And as soon as I put it on, it started to leak out. However, that wasn't gonna stop me. It was really slippery. When I first started walking, it was actually kind of comfy, but there was a problem. All the slime kept spilling out of the shoes, which I had to keep picking up. But since I was tracking all my steps on Sweatcoin, I knew I needed to hit 10,000. And so far, it wasn't so bad. The only thing that was uncomfortable was the actual shoe material itself. However, very quickly, things started to change. My feet started to feel really wet, like when you stay in a pool for too long. So I decided to try running, but that didn't work out too well. And eventually, for the most part, the slime stopped falling out of the sides of the shoes. But I also noticed there was a lot less of it, and it started to feel a lot more liquidy than it was at first. But I was almost done, and it wasn't too bad. There was just one thing that was kind of annoying.
I think it's funny that no one said anything, because obviously these shoes are so weird, and everyone looks at them.
Which was every time I took a step, my toes slid to the front. But eventually, I finished the 10,000 steps, and I've almost made 3,000 sweat coins. And you can get the free Sweatcoin app in my profile.
So instead of watching a lot of other ads, our videographer put together like a compilation of some of other hooks that work very well. And what we invite you to see here, it's just how powerful they are, how they spark curiosity, how you want to keep watching, and how diverse they are, and really reflecting the creator's unique take on the world, the app, and the audience.
What was that?
This is slime, and I wanted to walk 10,000 steps in it to see if it was comfier than a normal shoe.
Why am I not taking the bus? Very easy. I don't get paid to take the bus, but I do get Sweatcoin for walking.
Monedas que se llaman como la aplicación, Sweatcoin, y luego pues yo las puedo canjear por premios.
Deixa que eu levo, pai. João, leva Izumi pra passear? Deixa que eu levo, mano. O quê? Ela nunca leva o Izumi pra passear.
Algo de errado não está certo.
Thanks, Sweatcoin.
So you have here a very simplified view of our growth team at Sweatcoin. So of course, everybody has their own job title and list of responsibilities. What I want you to know that that's just the theory. In reality, everybody has a creative twist to their job. So for example, we work with local entrepreneurs all over the world, right? But for us, they're creative local entrepreneurs. We have in-house designers. They are creative in-house designers. And that's kind of the mindset that we all have in approaching any kind of project. The next little learning is kind of interesting, so bear with me. It goes like this. Expect the unexpected, and whatever the result is, it's not personal. Let me provide some context. So sometimes you're super invested in a creative. You've worked a ton. You like it a lot. You have high hopes. And it bombs. It does nothing. Other times you get a not so nice creative. It doesn't resonate with you. You're kind of meh. And it kills, becoming the best performing ad in the history of your ad account. And let me tell you guys, that hurts. But what we're trying to say is, trust your instincts when you really like something, but don't trust them when you don't. Just test it anyway. You never know. And we do have examples that kind of are on point. So the first video we're gonna watch is one that the entire team loved, just from the start, and it performed amazingly.
あいつなんか怪しいな。警察だ。おい君何やってるんだ。スウェットコイン稼いでます。は？最近悪いことにも価値がつくんですよ。どういうことだ。スウェットコインという無料アプリをダウンロードして、あんたはスマホを持って歩くだけ。そうすると歩いた分に応じて通貨がもらえる。その通貨は好きな景品と交換したり、慈善団体に寄付したりすることができる。詳しくは僕のプロフィールにリンク貼ってあるんで、ぜひ調べてみてください。では。おうありがとう。てかあいつ歩き方無駄多くないか。
Were we right? You're right, right? It's a cool video. The next one, however. Yeah, nothing else happens. This is the entire video. They're not sharing secret, no NASA thing. It's just like, what's your new side hustle? I'm using Sweatcoin. And this is it. And it performed surprisingly well. So on a personal note, since we're among friends here, so I'm a recovering brandaholic. I like my ads to look pretty, and I struggled with UGC content at the beginning. Bogdana, however, she's an agnostic. She'll test anything and does not discriminate between ads. Great, so we are further down the line. This is the last little bit. We'll be covering testing. So we know what are the key elements of a viral ad, how to spot it, how to engineer it, right? But once we have it, what to do with it. What we do is localize it, meaning we take the ad, we add the new text, the new voiceovers, and just put it to a test. So we don't change the character, we don't change the background to make it look more local, and we don't even bother to synchronize, to lip sync the new voiceover with the existing footage. So knowing what I have just told you, I want you guys to let me in on something. Do you think a Japanese ad would work in Germany if it was localized like I just explained? Speak up. We have a no, we have a yes. No. Yes.
You are learning.
Yeah. Bingo. So yes, it works. We've seen it 100 times because a good ad is a good ad and it will resonate with more than one geo. It's super interesting. I really urge you to try it and trust us.
Du läufst immer noch auf seltsame Weise. Hey, machst du wieder Sweatcoin?
Hey, du bist doch der Polizist, den ich vorhin getroffen habe. Du hast recht, hast du auch mit Sweatcoin angefangen?
Ja, habe ich. Es macht Spaß, dass ich einfach nur durch das Gehen mit meinem Handy in der Tasche Sweatcoin verdienen kann. Sogar die normale Patrouille macht dank dessen Spaß.
Wow, wie viel hast du verdient?
Ich habe sie gerade gegen einen Amazon-Geschenkgutschein eingetauscht. Das ist erstaunlich für eine kostenlose App. Und wie ist es bei dir?
Ich spende alles an wohltätige Zwecke. Ich kann gesund werden und gleichzeitig jemandem helfen. Das ist ein großartiges Gefühl. Okay, ich werde mehr laufen. Bis bald.
Was für ein guter Mensch.
It worked. Okay, so other times, we kind of go a little bit back to the basics when it comes to testing our videos and making new variations. So we have one example of two identical videos, but only one of them is the creative winner. It's that one over there because we were using emojis. That's the single difference. This one didn't work. That one provided amazing, amazing scale due to the power of emojis. We're gonna play just the winner, okay? Sometimes it's actually easier than you think. So in the testing phase, we do a lot. So we play with endings and different CTAs. We add emojis and GIFs and sound effects. We test AI voice versus human voice. So what we're trying to say is just go a little bit crazy and see what your audience resonates to. There's no actual playbook. It's just testing and testing again. So that being said, this concludes our presentation for today. We're leaving you here with the lessons for you to play with in your own creative lab. We are super, super serious about having a creative first approach as the base, the foundation of everything else you are doing. And on top of that, just add some sprinkles of your own. Learn from your winning creatives. Learn from your brave creators. And keep on testing. That's it. Thank you, and